Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Create with Alex Blake. I'm your host, Alex Blake, and today we have a guest on the pod. Today we get to hang with my friend Emmy. Say hey, Emmy.
Hey.
Emmy, you're so cute. Guys,
Oh,
Emmy lived in Charleston and just moved away from us.
Literally 2 weeks ago.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Okay, well, Emmy, I want to hear all about you and your life and your photography and all the things. And I know we're going to ask a ton of questions later and get into it. And we're going to talk about photo camp because you're leading a guided shoot at photo camp. I'm so excited. But before I get into asking you all the things, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone? Tell us who you are. Tell us what you like to do. And yeah, all the things.
Well, hey guys, I'm Emmy. I own Emmy Photography, and I shoot mostly weddings and then some portraits, brands, things like that here and there. I'm now based in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is so exciting.
I'm so sad. It's exciting for you. I'm sad.
But I am back in Charleston a good bit, so not too far. I got married 7 months ago, which is so exciting. Love my husband. Yes, it's amazing. Love being married and working together. He's my new second shooter too, so that's amazing. We just got a new puppy 2 days ago.
Oh my gosh, what kind?
He's a lab. He's so cute.
That is
we
so
have
fun.
One dog, Pickles. She was mine. I got her before
That's
we started dating. I'm obsessed with actual pickles, and so I was like, I have to name her Pickles. And then we moved here, bigger house, backyard, and she just needs someone to play with all the time.
Aww.
So we're like, let's go to the animal shelter
That's
and
so
look
cute.
and see. And we found Charlie. So
Charlie and Pickles. That's
Charlie
so
and Pickles.
Cute.
They're best friends. They're amazing.
Okay, well, we all need to see pictures of Charlie, so if you could just send me those after, that'd
absolutely,
be
I
great.
will.
Thank you. I love it.
And then I started selling presets and everything. I do some mentorships and all that stuff, but weddings are my main focus, and I love. I'm a hopeless romantic, which I also started Hopeless Romantic Society.
Yep.
So we do like content days, style shoots, and everything. But yeah, that's my spiel.
I love it. Well, guys, I mean, obviously Emmy already said that she does like education and stuff, but truly like you guys, if you are a couples photographer, if that's your niche, if that's the thing you want to go after, you need to talk to Emmy because her stuff is so good. And I'm not just like puffing you up, Emmy, like for real. I just like, I love your work. I love how cinematically storytelling it is, but it isn't like too grainy or too much in that niche where like it's not going to be just something that is like trending one day and not the next, which I think is really cool about your work. Like it's still sharp and it's still like really good, solid photography with good technique, but yeah, it's storytelling and it makes you feel and you look like you're watching a movie when you like see the photos or you feel like you're watching a movie and like you can like picture what was going on in that moment. I think about one of your content days you had a shoot where you had like people with bikes and it was at Centennial Park, I think
so, yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was like, right? Something like that. And they had like the Ralph Lauren like sweaters on. And like I remember this so specifically because I was like, I can feel that. Like I can feel this shoot. So seriously, guys, I can't wait for you to meet Emmy and just like hear more about her and everything. But I feel like you do have such a distinct style. What do you think maybe you like made your style click for you? Do you have like a specific moment in mind with that?
Honestly, I watched so many YouTube videos like growing up whenever I first started photography and learning from all these older film photographers specifically. And I am a huge movie girl. So I love looking at like movie stills, just like pausing when I'm watching a movie and seeing how they lined up the shot, the coloring and all that stuff. And I think that played a lot into my work today.
That's cool.
I would say it didn't really stick for me until probably 2 years ago. Which is crazy because I've been doing this for 7 years and it's like I've just been kind of guessing, I guess.
Winging it,
yeah. And then 2 years ago, I was like, oh, it was just like one day. I was like, wait a minute, this just makes so much more sense to me now. And playing around with Lightroom was the biggest thing too. I was so terrified to mess with all the others. Like I would stay on the basic panel and that's it. I wouldn't mess with anything else.
You're like, no tone curve, no HSL, no tone like nothing.
And then I was like, why can't I? Like, what is this going to do?
Play around.
Like, I don't even know anything about it. So I literally would like on the tone curve, I would just be like like messing with all kinds of stuff because I'm like, I need to know exactly what this is going to do.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
how you learn, though.
That's how you learn. And that's why I tell like all my mentees too. I'm like, they're like, oh, I'm so scared to use the tone curve or the HSL sliders or like anything like that. Or like, I love using the, like, I don't even know what it's called, the color dropper thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love using that too. And they're like, oh, I don't want to mess anything up. I'm like, you can reset it.
Just
at
undo.
Any point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, that's the beauty of it, actually.
Yeah.
And then whenever I started getting into shooting film, then I would study my own photos, which was like so cool to me. Like getting those physical photos back and being able to look at different colors, compare them to my digital photos. And like one of my presets that I use is based off of my Kodak photos, like film photos.
Yeah.
And I literally sat for so long. I felt like staring at this photo and then my digital photo and just like barely tweaking things.
Yes. That's so funny.
I'm like, oh my goodness, it took me so long. But I think also I hate like saying this because it can lead to comparison a lot, but seeing other people's work as well on Instagram and all the things, and then picking their work apart a little bit, being like, okay, I see what they did here. Let me see if I can grab this. I only want to take this one aspect from what they used or something like that. And then learning things that I don't want to use at all either. That helped a lot. Kind of like a process of elimination, basically. Yeah. And then I've done a couple mentorships myself in the past. And I mean, with every mentorship, I feel like you don't take away every single thing that you learn. Totally. Like some stuff you already know, or some stuff it just doesn't work for you, and that's okay. And so from the other mentors that I had, picking and pulling from them as well, like they would suggest things for my business, and I'd try it for a little bit, and I'm like, no, like for my editing and everything, and I'd try it, but it was just like as a creative in your heart whenever something is right and that feels like you. Yeah. And it's just one of those gut feelings.
That's cool. I love that for you, like you're talking about just the art within it, like the art of editing and looking side by side at a film, knowing you love film, knowing you love the movie stills. How can I make my edit specifically look like that? I think that's really cool because I do think like your brand is so much about your style and so much about like that cinematic movie feel. But at the same time, you're about couples. So why do you feel like you picked the niche of couples, and what like drove you to that too?
I'm such a romantic. So I actually
hopeless romantic.
Literally. I started in seniors. I did seniors for about 5 years. I had a senior rep program for 4 of those years, and I learned a lot.
That's really cool because I don't feel like a lot of people start in seniors.
Yeah.
It's usually like the niche that we end up
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved working with seniors, and I definitely learned a lot. There was a lot more drama in seniors than in weddings for me. So, and I was
because
just like,
of your rep team.
Yeah. And I was like, that is not my vibe. I don't do drama.
No.
So that kind of died off. And
that's so interesting.
I second shot actually for Georgia, who has become one of my best friends. And I was like, wait, I love this. I've only shot like couples before, maybe a few weddings. And I really got sucked in to the connection that people have. And I mean, especially as a Christian too, being able to photograph weddings is such a holy thing. And it's just like, I get goosebumps at every wedding, just knowing how, like, oh my goodness, I could cry just talking about it.
You are a hopeless romantic. Stop it right now. I'm like, I haven't felt things in years, and you're like,
it's just so beautiful, the human connection in general, and the way that we connect with each other, with nature, with anything in God's creation, and the things that we've created through his creation is just amazing. Cool. And then he's such a creative God, and he has given me this gift to be creative and to capture his creation and to put his beauty on display and all of that. And I think it's so, like, what better way to do it than in his most prized possession, his most prized creation, and his relationship with us being based on love and the comparison to marriage that the Bible gives us and everything. I'm just like
that's so cool.
Like, Jesus is a hopeless romantic too, and I know it.
I cannot. The Bible says God is love.
God is love.
That is so funny. No, I love that you said that. And I think it's interesting because I think it's cool how everyone's personality lends to different things where like for you, that's the way you feel like intimately with God, you know?
Mhm.
And so like it connects with you in that way. For me, I feel very similar. Like the whole like God has created me to create and be like him and imitate him in that way. He is a
Yes.
creator and I want to create too, which is so cool. But for me, I love the confidence building of building up a senior who
Yes.
is a lot of the time insecure, a lot of the time like feels, you know, less than, whether it's from her friends or from his or her parents or whatever it is. But like the confidence boost that I get to provide in
Yep.
that moment and how I get to encourage them and make them feel like hopefully the way that God sees them, you know? It's a similar like
Yes.
drive, I guess. Like it's in a
Yes.
similar draw to our niches, but completely different outcomes, which I think is
Yep.
really cool. And it's cool how like God has designed different people to have different callings, even within like a creative industry like this.
Yeah.
Like we're both photographers, we're both Christian, we both feel called to what we're doing, completely different niches,
Completely
you
different.
know? But
And
the
such
result
a
is the same.
exactly, and such a unique like setting for us to be ambassadors for Christ too. Like
That's
that's such
cool.
a pivotal point that you're like reaching these people and
Yeah.
these seniors, like they're about to start their lives in adulthood and whatever,
Yeah.
and you're there to be like, you got this, you know?
Yeah.
And
No, it's so true.
I'm in your corner, and that's such a cool thing to be a
Yeah.
part of.
And I mean, same for you. You get to help someone start off the rest of their life,
Yeah.
like the rest of their life together in their marriage through like prayer and all that kind of stuff. One of the things before we move on that is so cool, this is so random, but in your and Justin's wedding pictures, I always think about the one where you guys, I think you're worshiping. Is that true?
Yep.
Okay. I was like, I
Yep.
feel like you are, but maybe I
Yeah.
made that story up.
our our whole wedding was like, I have never felt the Holy Spirit more than our wedding
Aw,
day, which was amazing and beautiful. We our plans like got wrecked, but it was the most perfect day. I wouldn't change it for anything. I spent
really?
so much time the night before and hours the morning of making this whole backdrop, like with drapery and florals and all this stuff. We were gonna have an outside ceremony. Poured down rain.
Of course it
Didn't get to have any of
did.
it. It was like breaking the drapery apart, like all this stuff.
Aw.
It was rough.
And you'd worked
But
so hard on it.
and I worked so hard. I got like a sunburn literally the morning of our wedding
No.
working on it. It was so bad. I didn't even notice though. And we had like the blinds closed where we were getting ready, so I couldn't even see outside that it was raining. I get my dress on and Georgia goes out to take pictures of Justin, I think maybe doing his portraits, and they were like, it's pouring down rain. Like, I don't
Oh
think we can have it
no.
out here. I was like, and my sister was like, what do you want me to do? I was like, I just need to talk to Justin. Calls him on the phone and he's like, let's just do a first look. Let's read our vows and we'll do them
Aw.
outside during the pause in the rain and they can move everything around. So I told Safa, I was like, I don't really care. Like, let's do it inside. And there were these beautiful old church doors that were the bedroom doors of the Airbnb
Cool.
that we had to do them in front of, which was beautiful. And I was like, just turn the couches around, pull the dining room chairs over. Like, people can stand if they want to. I don't care. Like, let's
so
just
cool.
I just want to get married to my
Yeah.
best friend. Like, that's it. And we had one of my childhood best friends come and Justin's nieces and one of his best friends, we had them come as well and they led worship. I was like, let's just
So
do that. That was
cool.
always the plan, to have a worship song. We did the blessing, which is so beautiful. And I was like,
Oh,
this
I'd
is
be crying
our,
too. At the
yeah, I was like,
blessing.
this is
No, at
this
my
is
wedding,
our
I
prayer.
thought.
This is our prayer over our family that we're starting. So I was like, let's just do that. And then getting to pray together beforehand and like read our vows and everything. Then we go into there and have this beautiful moment of worship. I mean, worship truly broke out. Like, it went on for so much longer than we originally
That's so
planned.
cool.
And everyone, like our families, met for the first time that day.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah. So everyone just blended and pulled it. Like, you would never have guessed that they just met that
Oh,
day.
that's
It was
so special.
it was amazing. Yeah. Loved it. And
That's so special.
like,
Do you
I
feel
mean,
like because you had photographed so many weddings up to that point, you cared less about the experience and more about the marriage?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Being able to witness so many weddings as a photographer, you're like, okay, I would want to do that. Like, I'm just gonna tuck that away, or I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to do this or whatever. But I think when it came, like, there were definitely things that I was like, I don't really want that, or I don't really care, whatever, like more materialistic. But as far as the whole day, I think I was able to be like, because like we were all there together. No one was leaving.
Yeah.
We weren't like waiting on anybody. We had the whole day to just be. And I'm like, Justin's here. I'm here. We have the marriage license so we can make it official. Like,
perfect.
We're good. That's all we need.
That's
like,
all we need.
Me and him were down to go to the courthouse, but then I was like, I want my dad to walk me down the aisle. Like, there's some things that I want.
And the little special moments that have to do with people. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, we're good. And I think that changed after we got married. It changed my approach to other people's wedding days too. Cool. Georgia and Micah, they shot our wedding and did such an amazing job, captured literally everything. Like I can hear.
If you guys don't know who we're talking about, because I know we've mentioned Georgia and Micah a few times now, literally go look them up, Georgia and Micah on Instagram. They've also been on the podcast before, so you guys can go and look for their podcast too. I don't remember what number it is, and I'm not going to look it up, but you guys can look it up. Georgia and Micah, both of them were on the podcast probably last year, maybe the year before. Okay,
they're amazing. So talented.
They are amazing.
And I mean, it made me, I think, change my approach to filtering clients as well, like in the inquiry process, who I'm going to say yes to or no to. I mean, you get a vibe whenever you get an inquiry. You're like, we're not going to be a good fit. Or maybe you need a little bit more to figure out if you're going to be a good fit. After them shooting my wedding, because I was like, Georgia told me, she was like, if you want to come shoot details with me, like you can shoot your own details or whatever. Like if you want to do this, you can. So do you want to edit your own photos? I was like, no, I want to be completely hands off. I trust you completely to capture everything that needs to be captured. I'm good. And that was so amazing. So I changed kind of how I spoke to my clients whenever they inquired, changed how like my language on my website and my social media and everything after getting married because I'm like, I want you to trust me completely and my process and my vision and all the things and know that I'm going to handle your day with such care. You know, I want that to be like come across all my messaging that I care deeply because I do. And like, it's not just a job for me, you know? And even the way that I shoot, I'm like, I remember this getting captured at my wedding. And I know like that photo is so special to me, but it's not something I would have thought about like that day to request or something like that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this for you because you're gonna want this.
That's cool though. Well, that honestly might be part of the answer to what I was gonna ask you next. But I was just gonna ask you, like, what do you do to make sure that couples feel comfortable in front of the camera with you, even though maybe you haven't met before the actual like day of shooting them?
Before anybody books with me, I require that we get on a call. Whether it's a couple session or a wedding, I'm like, let's just chat. And some people don't like talking on the phone, which I understand. I'm like, you don't have to do FaceTime. Like, let's just hop on a phone call. Let's hear each other's voices and make sure that we're connecting. And I explain that to them as well, that's my reasoning behind it, because I want you to have the best photos possible that honestly and truly tell your story as you two, because everyone is so unique. And if I'm not the best person to do that, I'm not going to take your money just to take your money. You know, I'm going to be like, actually, I think you should reach out to this photographer, or this photographer, because I think based off of what I know about them and what I know about you, they're going to be able to capture your day.
Cool.
Like so purely, you know?
So are you doing this call before they ever book with you?
Yeah.
Or, okay, cool.
Yeah. So after they inquire, I send them this email that's like, this is kind of my process and all the things, and pricing guide, all that gets sent immediately. And they get a link to schedule the call themselves, where in that email too, I kind of explained that I just want to make sure we're a good fit. And it's so sad too, because sometimes I'm like, I really would love to shoot your wedding, but like someone else can do it better. Like nothing against my work either. Like I will give you great photos if you want to book with me still. I will give you great photos, but someone else is gonna like be perfectly capture really exactly what you want.
That's very humble, I think.
It can be hard
and very trusting too, because it's also like that's turning away money, like ultimately, you know? So that's a really trusting thing that you're like, okay.
It has been a game changer too. Justin has to remind me all the time. He's like, God's got us. He's like, who put this on your heart? And I'm like, you're right. I know that the right people are going to come along and it's going to be fine. And it takes a lot. I have a lot of breakdowns. I'm going to be totally honest. But I know that come that day, because there have been times in the past where I've taken a wedding and I probably shouldn't have. There probably was someone who would have done a better job or connected
Sure.
a little bit better. And I maybe did give 100%, but looking back, I'm like, this photographer in particular would have like blown it out the water, you know?
Yeah. That's
So
so cool.
it's hard, but it's so fun too, because then I get to, like, if they do book with the photographer that I recommend, I'm like, like I
You
get
like
to
feel
see that.
pride
I'm like,
about
yes,
that?
I got it.
That's so funny.
I'm like, I still
Well,
have my hand in that.
I think that's so cool because it really does show that like you are for the community of photographers, not just like the obviously competition. You know, we hear that all the time, like community
Yeah.
over competition, but like that's such a real life example of that. And I'm super excited because you're going to be doing a guided shoot at photo camp. And I think that's such a perfect example of like why people honestly like, okay, this is a full on plug, guys. I'm just going to say it, but like why people should come to photo camp, because we have people that are leading this thing like Emmy, who's like, it's okay if I turn away money if there's a
Mhm.
better photographer for this. Like that's the kind of person that you want leading photo camp.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like we want you, Emmy, to be like the person that teaches us how to do a couple shoot, because it's like you're doing it with care for the couple themselves and care for like who they are, but then also care for other people in the industry too.
Yep.
So I'm super excited because I know that like, again, part of your work is like, yes, that you shoot couples, and part of your work is yes, that it's very like cinematic vibe with editing and stuff, but also you're really, really good at posing. And I can like see that all over your work, and whether it's prompting or posing, like I just know that you're good at it. So I'm super excited to have you lead the guided shoot and
It's
stuff.
gonna be
And
so fun.
I know we're all gonna learn from you. Like truly, I'm like so pumped. I will have my notebook out. I don't even shoot couples really, but like I'm gonna be like, okay, yes, like
Well, that's such a cool
totally
thing
learning.
too. Like starting with seniors is where I learned how to pose
Yeah.
couples, because shooting one person is so much harder than shooting two. Like
That's so funny. A
so
lot of
much
people
harder.
say that, and I think that is so funny because I don't think that I feel that way.
Yeah, like shooting seniors, I was like, okay, but then there would definitely be times where I would kind of stall and be like, oh
Now
shoot, like what do
what?
I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like with two people, connect with each other, boom,
Sure.
like there you go, you know. But like with one person, you bring props, or you have to like all these things can
Yeah.
add into it. So it's like, what do I do now? You know,
That is so funny because I think I feel the opposite where I'm like, okay, we have two people. I have to think about two people in this shot, you know, like it's
Well,
so
I
funny
think,
how
too,
like
it's so fun to go off of like the couple themselves and their
Yeah.
personalities, which is another thing that I do to help them prep
Totally.
before the session. I send out a questionnaire.
Love it.
And I'm like, what are your love languages? What's your favorite date night? What's like your dream date night? What do you typically do?
Nice.
What are some favorite just like hobbies that you guys have? And then I ask them to like each partner to answer what are your top 3 favorite qualities about your other partner, and then vice versa. And then I can pull those into their session to tailor my
Cool.
prompts to them. And I tell them all the time too, anytime we hop on a call, I explain this to everybody. One, my like top suggestion is pretend that I'm videoing. Don't pretend that I'm not taking photos of you, pretend that I'm videoing.
That's
Because the whole like idea of getting cinematic photos and everything is basing it off of movies. And movies, you're not just like still and yeah, exactly.
You're not
like
just like sitting up straight and
yeah,
smiling.
like there's
yeah.
a script, they're moving and things are happening.
That's
There's this
cool.
whole scene that's laid out. So if you're constantly moving, even if I have you in like a stiffer pose, like slightly moving your head, moving your hands a little bit, I
Yeah.
tell people like never have your hands stop moving unless I tell you. I'm always like tickle up and
That's
down each
cool.
other's arms, wiggle your fingers, scratch each other. Like it'll feel weird, but in the photos it looks so natural. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like, don't stop moving.
Like don't stop moving. No, that's
Yeah.
so funny. You have to be careful with that though. If they're out of breath, you're like,
Right,
hold on.
yeah.
Let's take a walk instead of
Especially,
having you run right now.
I have
Like,
them run so much too, and
Yes.
like walk around and spin and all this stuff. So I have to like mix up after we run.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's like lay down on the grass.
Yes. Well, the reason that I said that is because I used to do couples. I started out with more families and couples and then moved into seniors. So kind of different than you.
Yeah.
But when I was like, gosh, it was probably 2018, 2019 or something. And I did like a little giveaway, and I had this couple come, and it was like a 30-minute giveaway. So I was trying to be like quick, and I was having them move. And I remember I for whatever reason, like I looked up and the guy was like, as I was like, all right, next pose. And I was like, oh, I like realized what I was doing in that moment. And I was like, maybe I should have them do a sitting pose. Like,
let's calm down a second.
I think if I remember right, I had him like pick her up and like spin around, and then like they were running, and like it was just like the whole thing. They had their dog there, playing with the dog. And so I was like, okay, I need to chill. So that is a good thought.
I have to tell them too. I'm like, let's just preface, this is going to be an exercise session. It's not going to be.
Yes, that's so funny. Honestly, that's a really good rule of thumb though, to just always over communicate that.
Yep.
Like make it light, but like if you tell them what to expect, they're going to come knowing what to expect,
And with sending the questionnaire too, I add in there, I'm like, is there anything that you're not comfortable doing, whether it's any PDA or anything like that, which I ask, like, what's your favorite way to physically show connection as well? Because a lot of people don't like to kiss on camera or in front of other people. I'm like, cool, we won't do that then. Like, y'all can hold hands and hug and wrap up and whatever. And then anything that they're not comfortable with, like if they're like, we don't really want to run, or we don't want to do a piggyback, or like something like that, I'm like, cool, we won't do it. And I tell them on calls too, I'm like, if come shoot time, I tell you to do something and you just aren't feeling it, it doesn't feel like you guys, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you're like, can we not? Like, that's totally okay. Like, these are your photos, it's your story, so whatever you're comfortable with is totally fine.
I love that. Yeah. And it just makes them feel comfortable. So, okay, if you were talking to a newer photographer right now who like wants to get into couples, but doesn't even know where to start with posing, I know you just laid out a ton of stuff. Is there one of those that you would pick out, or is there something totally fresh or new that you would tell them, like, do this with couples to pose them?
I mean, building off of prompts, it would be my biggest piece of advice. Start with something simple and go from there. Because our brains, too, whenever we're shooting, are constantly working. And if you're wanting to get that cinematic vibe, I love watching, I think it's Greta, I forget what her last name is, the director. And there's a video of her directing a scene. And she's like yelling while they're filming. And she's like, now run over there. Now tackle him. And now kiss and blah, blah, blah. Like, that needs to be you. Like, if you want these cinematic photos, take the role of a director. And so I love starting every session with like holding hands walking, and I'm going to have this partner lead just a couple steps ahead and just look at each other as you walk. And however they decide to take it and run with it, that's what they do. And then from there, I'll build on and be like, okay, now like do a big spin around you and then pull her in and give her a kiss, or do like long arms over his shoulders and, dip her back or something like that. Like pull her in and just hug her really tight. Don't let her go. And you're going to try and get away from him and, whatever. I'm so sorry too. Our dogs are barking, I think.
No, that's okay. It's quiet. We're fine. Everyone can hang with it. That's so funny. My next question was literally going to be like, can you walk us through a prompt? But I feel like you just did 5 just then. So like, I don't even think I need to ask you that question.
You can just like keep building and changing.
No, it is cool. That's really funny because I also do that with seniors too. But I've never thought about it in the way that you just said it, where you are a director. I think that's like a really cool thought with it, of like, you're not just a photographer and you're not just prompting things, like you're a director of this quote unquote movie or of this gallery that you're building. And so like for me, I do the same thing where like they're moving and I'm like yelling. If you watch like any of my behind the scenes videos, I hate my voice in it because I'm like, and now look at me.
And then afterwards I'm like, oh my gosh, cute. Perfect. Literally, I'm so annoying and obnoxious, but
we all are. I think it's like the gift of a photographer.
It really is. And then, I mean, just kind of like feeling the vibes for each prompt too. Like, should we continue this? Do I need to stop it or whatever? Or do I need to have them do it again? Over communicating is always going to be the best thing before, during, and after your shoot. The entire process with them.
Love it.
You should just be like spilling your guts and everything. And I learned too, for the first probably 5 years, honestly, of my business, I thought that at every shoot I had to constantly be shooting, and we just had to be go, 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 go.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're going to think that it's not worth their money. Then I realized I should probably slow down.
They don't like that.
So, actually taking breaks too to just sit and talk in between prompts
Mhm.
sometimes. Like if I just had them run and I need to think for a minute about what I want to do next or something, or I'm just like, let's just take a break. We'll
Yeah.
just stand there or be walking somewhere else to shoot or whatever. And I'll just be asking them about life or things that were on the
Yeah.
questionnaire or that they've already mentioned to me. I'm like, oh, like, tell me more about this. And then that's going to help me build my next set of prompts as well.
Yeah.
Because each session is your movie that you're directing, and you're building these scenes based off of who they are. You're telling their story. So the more you get to know them and the more questions that you ask them, the better you're going to be able to make this
That's
whole
cool.
movie. And their gallery is going to be laid out so perfectly and uniquely tailored to them. So I think just
Yeah.
being a yapper.
That's really cool. Okay, so when you're in those moments and you're like, you're deciding, oh, it's time to move on from a pose, or like, oh, this is really working. Let me
Yeah.
build off of this. Like, what is it that you're looking at where, like, you know if it's working or if it is time to move on?
Honestly, I think it's goes back to that gut thing. Like social cues. You know whenever something's kind of feeling
Yeah.
awkward or whatever, like you just
Oh,
kind
for
of pick
sure.
up on the vibes. And if it is, then I'm like, okay. And also never blaming the clients either has been such a
Yes.
huge thing. Because if you kind of blame them, be like, oh, like you didn't do that right or whatever, they're gonna shut down and you just lost all the comfortability that
Yeah.
you built with them. So being like, oh, like that's not really turning out how I want, like I think I need to change this or blah blah blah, or like, or even just being like, yeah, that was great, let's move on to the next thing,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's what I do too.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm like,
they're
all
not
right,
gonna
awesome.
they're not gonna remember every single prompt that you did.
Yeah.
So whenever you send their gallery, if you don't edit those photos from that prompt that was awkward or didn't work out or whatever, they're not going to know. If they do
Right.
ask about it, I think I've had like one or two clients ask about specific prompts before that they didn't get photos back from. I'll be straight up with them. I'm like, oh, like it didn't quite turn out exactly how I was hoping. Like I
Yeah.
can let you look at them if you want to, but like in my creative eye, it
Yeah.
didn't turn out, and I don't think that you're going to want
Okay,
those
I am
photos.
curious about this. If you remember, do you remember when you delivered those galleries? Was it really close to the shoot date?
Um, Sneak peeks I deliver like within 24 hours or usually
Yeah.
same day. And then usually within like 4 to 6 weeks, I try and send everything
Yeah.
back. So,
But do you feel like for those specific ones where like they had remembered the pose, it was like
oh,
you
yeah.
turned it in on time, or like not on
Yeah.
time, like you turned it in really early to them?
Closer. Yeah. And then they were like, because it was fresh on their mind
Yep.
what they just
Yep.
did. Yeah.
That's my theory. That is my theory, honestly.
Yep.
Because anytime where it's like, okay, I've got extra time, maybe we shot during slow season or something like that, and I'm able to be like super quick with my turnaround. And obviously, it's a little bit different too, because me doing like senior photos,
Yeah.
the amount of photos that I have, like,
Yeah.
it does not take me 6 weeks to get back a gallery. Like, to
Yeah.
be honest, it should not take me 6 weeks to get back a gallery, but it's because it's a completely different niche than
Oh,
yours,
yeah.
but like, it's usually around 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I say 3 weeks, typically it's 2 weeks. But if I get it back in like 1 week or less, they just remember a lot more about the shoot
Mm-hmm.
to where like they're going to remember that they didn't get that specific pose back or
Yeah.
whatever. And I feel like that makes a difference. And I'm not saying we should hold our photos out by any
Right.
means,
Yeah.
like at all, but it's sometimes like important to remember when you're delivering the photos, okay, they're going to remember that you're leaving this pose out,
Right.
like, and just going
And
to have that in your head.
yeah, I feel like the longer you take too, in their minds, they're like, okay, they're putting time and
Yeah.
effort into this
Yeah.
and really articulating the gallery. That's something, as an overshooter, that is something that I've really been working on the last year or 2 years,
Yeah.
is like designing my galleries a little bit
Me
better.
too.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's so fun.
It's amazing. I don't know why, but it really is so fun. It's like curating an Instagram post.
Yes.
Yes. That's so
I
funny.
love it so much. And it changes, like I don't over like deliver on the amount of photos anymore. They still get a lot of photos. Probably still way too many, but not as many as I used to send. Like I've
Yeah.
probably cut it in half. And I have been told before, before I cut down on my photos, that it was overwhelming getting all those
Mhm.
photos, and it would be a lot of repeats, or like something would be slightly different in a photo, and it's like,
Yeah.
just decide for them, which
Yeah.
photo is going to be better and all that stuff. And they have appreciated that so much more
Yeah.
when it comes to posting or building albums or anything like that. Less to choose from is
Yeah.
So much better.
The other thing too is like if you are going to deliver a large amount of photos, especially like wedding, right? Having it like organized, I think has been really helpful. I do that with
Yes.
brands, and that's been really helpful with brands. And then any weddings that I do, usually it's just for friends and families now, but I'm like pre-ceremony,
Yep.
like, or I'll say
Yes.
like getting ready,
Yes.
first look, like I section it off, and it's just helpful for their brains too,
It
to be
is.
able to
Yeah.
look through
I
like
have started doing
that
that this
amount.
last year, and sectioning everything off into each part of the day is more helpful for them. And then making a highlights section too, where
Cool.
you go through and you just pick favorites of yours from each section, make
Love.
them highlights so that the highlights are the first thing that they see. So they get kind of a brief overview of the
Nice.
whole gallery that you've curated, even
That's
more
smart.
so than the gallery that you just curated for them. And then they go in and can look at every single photo in each
Yeah.
section.
I
And people have
love
been
that you
loving
do
that.
that. I love that you do that because for my seniors, I don't have to section it off, right?
Yeah.
But I have been doing like randomized galleries. And so that way it's not like, here's this photo in the same outfit as this
Yeah.
photo in the same location and outfit as this photo. And you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like all 4 outfits that they get are mixed in, and the
Yeah.
2 locations you can definitely see, and it tells like this story in a different way. So I like randomize it, but I really specifically focus on the first like 6 to 8 photos that they see, because it does matter. Like
Yeah.
it matters when they first click on that gallery. What are they seeing?
Yep.
Are they seeing a photo that they really don't love of themselves? Or are
Yeah.
they seeing like your favorite photos that you intentionally picked for
Yep.
them to see? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it just matters. And so having the highlights like that is such a great idea.
Yeah, it's so important because it's like every single time they come back to it, that's the first thing that they see.
Yeah.
And a lot of times too, I curate the highlights to be what I plan on posting for like from their
Smart.
session or their wedding or whatever. And so then they get a heads up almost of I'm probably going to see these on her
Yeah.
Instagram or whatever. And 9 times out of 10, they end up posting the highlights as well, which I'm like, slay, because those are my favorite photos.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
So then
That's funny.
it's then in turn representing your brand even more so the way
Well,
that you
yeah.
want. Yeah.
Okay, so when you're going through like a wedding or an engagement session and you're culling through it, how are you selecting the final images? Especially because you are an overshooter, as you say, self-proclaimed overshooter. Like how are you selecting those images and picking out what is going to come in this final gallery to tell the story you want?
I mean, I look at all the technical things like focusing and things like that. Obviously, with the cinematic style and storytelling, I leave in a lot
Yeah.
of blurry ones that I intentionally made blurry and all that stuff. But I look at their faces and seeing what's in focus there. And then lighting, checking that out, like what's going to be easier or harder. Is it going to be
True.
a cool, like difficult lighting situation or things like that?
Yeah.
And then otherwise, I just go off of vibes.
It's all
If
vibes, dude.
if I'm vibing with it, then it's going in there.
Honestly, that is like the life of a photographer. Just going by vibes.
Honestly.
I love it. That's like 2026 in a nutshell. Okay, are you using any type of like culling software or anything like that?
I'm not. I have Aftershoot, but I used it like once 2 years ago, and I'm still paying
Mhm.
for it.
No.
But I have not used it.
Don't
I
pay for
really
it if you're not using it.
I really need to stop. I need to either cancel it or I need to use
That's
it.
so
But
funny.
then, like, whenever I get into like slower season, then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like I'll just do it myself. And honestly, I kind
Yeah.
of enjoy culling when I'm not busy. Like,
Yeah,
if
when I
have
have
a
like
lot
super
going, then
small things, like if it's like me and Zach just like going out and taking pictures, then I won't use
Mhm.
Aftershoot. But I use Aftershoot for like everything, especially in busy season. But you're
I
right, like in
think
slow season, it's kind of fun to
yeah,
not,
I think I just need to use it more for it to learn what I like better
Yeah.
too. Because I used it
Yes,
once
that matters.
and I was like, you just left out like all my favorite blurry photos and I
Yeah.
intentionally made them blurry. Like,
Honestly, guys, like if you do not have Aftershoot, now is the time to get it, just because of exactly what Emmy said. Like you do not have time during busy season to have to go back through things that it's like culled out, and it culls them into folders. So it's not like deleting anything for you or anything like that, but it's super helpful to already have like your style set for when busy season comes. So
yeah.
if you don't have Aftershoot and you're interested in it, get it now. Don't wait, and like go ahead and teach it what you
Yeah.
like, you know?
Yeah,
Because now,
honestly,
like
I
for
might
me,
start putting in old sessions and be like,
yeah, you should. No, seriously. And just like let it run its course, but then
yeah,
like go and select and flag the things that you like and
yeah,
export it really quick. Because like for me, the blurry photos that I like, I don't like all blurry photos, you know, that's not
no,
super my style for seniors, but like I do like some intentional ones and it leaves it in there for me now,
yeah. Oh,
which
that's
is super
amazing.
helpful. Yeah. And it like knows, it can tell the difference between like what I've done intentionally for blurry photos versus like, oh, I missed my focus. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or whatever. And it'll flag that as blurred for me. And so like there's certain things now that it just like does for me. And with editing too, it's really cool because again, you have to like really train it in your style. But once it's there, then you can like update it too with
Mm,
new Lightroom catalogs and like it is not perfect and there's certain lighting situations that I don't shoot in enough for it to know what to do with when I do have
yeah,
it. But like the vast majority now, it's been so helpful and all I have to do is tweak and retouch
that's
after,
so
you know. So
nice.
it has been like just a game changer with that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
if you guys are interested, I was not planning on plugging after shooting anyway, but if you guys are interested, there is a discount code in the show notes and I'll put it in there. Okay. Let's move on. I was going to ask you, oh yeah, going back to editing, do you feel like
Mhm.
there's one like editing habit that has made a big difference for you that you do in all of your images?
Ooh, playing with the HSL, like the color grading, and playing with the shadows specifically.
Cool.
I love like a blue or like an
Me too.
aqua shadow.
Yeah, me too.
So good. And then
That is
depending on the
uncommon. I'm so surprised that you said that because I thought you were going to say green because green shadows are super in right now.
I love green. I love a green shadow too.
Yeah.
But the blue shadows, I mean, you kind of have to base it off of the specific photos as well with your
Or the
lighting
location
situation.
too.
Like
Yeah.
just zoom in on the shadows
Yeah.
and like what colors do you see? Obviously, like if there's a shadow on a tree, it's going to be green, but deeper than that, you know, like what's the color? And most likely it's going to be blue.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, I usually pull things in the shadows blue, and then my highlights I pull them more yellow, orange, red, just depending. And
Yeah.
I always mess with those first, and then I do my midtones just to kind
Cool.
of correct the skin color and everything like that. But
Nice.
that has been like my go-to. Yeah.
I love playing around with colors in Lightroom. That's like
Me
my
too.
favorite thing. And I think like when I moved to Charleston, that was when I discovered my love for blue. Somehow I didn't understand it until like my late 20s.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wait, I love blue. Like
Yeah.
I love it. And so like being able to like make blues really deep and poppy in Lightroom was like such a fun thing for me to
Yeah.
learn. Even just like what inspires me, like what colors inspire me came from
Yeah.
playing around in Lightroom and being able to shoot at the beach too. So
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, going back to photo camp before we end, what can everyone expect from your styled shoot? Or not your styled shoot, your guided
I
shoot
mean,
at photo
lots
camp?
of lots of new ideas for posing and prompting and all of that stuff,
I
and
love it.
communicating with the people in front of your camera as well, and collaboration. I am all about like let's hear ideas from my
Cool.
clients as well as from the other photographers that I'm shooting with. So I'm excited to like pull everybody's ideas together and
Yeah,
show like how we can work together. Also, if you're wanting to get into weddings and things, you're going to be working with more vendors, and you need to be able to work on a team and with other people and like
smart.
videographers and all that stuff. So this would be a good way to give an example of how you would communicate with another creative who's beside you without getting in each other's ways and all that stuff too.
That's
But
really cool.
definitely some fun movement ideas and my settings behind my camera too. I am
Love
all
it.
about like I'll plug my settings into your camera
Here,
for you.
screenshot it. Yeah. Take a picture.
But yeah,
I
like
love that.
all the motion blur and all that stuff that I do and like changing my colors in camera helps with my editing for like the
Mhm.
style that I want. So yeah, super
That's
excited.
really cool. Okay, well, I'm so excited. Like I said, I'm going to be taking notes and everything. If there's one thing that you want our campers to walk away with after experiencing that with you, what do you think it would be?
Confidence in prompting and building
Love
on
it.
prompts. That would be like I hope that they feel good
I love
and like
that.
pull ideas away to be like, "Oh, I can like keep communicating with my clients the whole time and like
Yeah.
keep directing them."
I love that you said that because that is something that every photo camp I've had campers like text me or DM me or whatever after and say like I'm so much more confident in shooting now. And like
Good.
that has been something that like I didn't even expect, you know, like that's not one of my like 3 C's for the pillars of my business. Like I have other ones for that. But but like confidence is something that's just naturally happened. And this is our first time doing guided style shoots. So I'm like really, really excited for that. Instead of like a ton of different speakers, we moved some of the speakers to be guided shoot leaders. And that was kind of my goal, is that people would walk away with a little bit more confidence in it. So I love that you said that. But anyway, Emmy, we have just been yapping for so long. We're at like 45 minutes over here. We need to stop. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. Well, before we end out, you guys need to go and follow Emmy. So Emmy, where can everybody find you to follow you?
At Emmy Keenest Photography. I'll spell it. EMMY-KIENAST Photography all over any platform.
And I'll put it in the title too, so you guys can just look at the title just in case you're like, wait, what did she say? I'm driving. I can't write it down. But you guys need to go and find her and follow her because she really, truly is amazing. Okay, Emmy, I think we're going to log off. It's been too long of us yapping. Awesome. People are going to get sick of us. Okay, bye, I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. Mwah.